After reading a shit ton of overpowered trash fantasy, what do you think a normal person would usually do? Usually, the average person would probably go and touch some grass. Although I am a frequent enjoyer of grass, I'm also a frequent enjoyer of milking the shit out of genres. I've read a lot of overpowered fantasy, most of which were mid, but some of them had an actual interesting plot. It's hard to find original ideas when it comes to reincarnation, fantasy, or game stories, whether in anime or in manhwa. So when you do find one after surfing through the garbage, you're actually genuinely surprised, because normally after reading all that garbage you go in with such low expectations with these that sometimes those low expectations actually improve the experience once you find that one gem. That's why I'm always hesitant on reading or watching popular anime and or manhwa. If it's popular, you usually go in with very high expectations, sometimes too high for a story to reach, which then will kind of disappoint you, and then you miss out on an experience that would have been fun if you didn't have any expectations at all. But thankfully I started reading this manhwa with no expectations whatsoever. I was just looking for a fantasy setting manhwa, so I just posted a request on Reddit, and I got recommended this. It was called Her Summon. Her Summon is a manhwa about a guy who gets his whole life ruined by an innocent joke that got interpreted wrong. And then social media completely fucked him even further. Then coincidentally, he got summoned into another world. That was a very brief and basic synopsis of the first chapter. I kept it brief because I like talking about how I felt about the story rather than explaining the story itself. Because let's be honest, every single story, manhwa, anime has a synopsis. You could just read that. Either way, the story was really good. It felt like the author was definitely trying to make the characters human-like and build the world. And the art was completely amazing. I was blown away. I enjoyed the story from beginning to end, but I felt the ending was a little bit rushed. I was even surprised that it ended so suddenly. It wasn't necessarily a bad ending, but just it should have went a little longer, I believe. Because at the end of it, I was definitely attached to the main characters, but I was not immersed in the world fully yet. The world building was a little bit lacking in my opinion. In the story, they traveled in the world, but I didn't feel like they actually traveled. It felt like they just went to the town next to them, mainly because of the world building. The story reminded me of Shadow of the Colossus a lot. The scale of the monsters is honestly really beautiful in a way, and also the battles are really damn good. Other than the fact that the world building was a little bit lacking, I think the story overall is absolutely really good, and I definitely recommend it. It's an 8 out of 10 in my book. But yeah, thank you for watching.